Okay, we're ready to practice some low inversions to finish up our day one of the basic prenatal training. So we're going to go ahead and take the swing back down to the very bottom where the leg loop is. So we're going to take the leg loop off and replace it with the swing, and then the leg loop is just going to go onto the handhold. So the leg loops are going to come all the way down too in case we decide to use them. I haven't decided if we're going to use them or not, but just in case, they're going to be there. We'll be using just the main swing for the most part. We're going to come into a peaceful warrior variation that I normally do in a more intermediate training, but I did want to continue on with the low flow and the low flying. And just let you know, I would say just do the supported headstand if you're new, if an inversion feels good. But if you do have a little bit more experience with the inversions, I'm going to show you how to do the inversion on the ground. Okay, so we're going to start back to back, so that way you're not just looking at our pretty butts when we're upside down. So what we're going to do is hold on to the swing, get tension on the swing, and then you're going to come on down nice and low to sit. All right, so we're going to start out, I usually start out here, coming into my low baddha and doing all that. Maybe stretch it out a little bit from side to side. Beautiful. And then once we're here, you're going to go ahead and lean back. And when you lean back, I like to make sure the swing slides to the waist. You might want to give it a little wiggle from side to side. Okay? And then if you're comfortable, you're going to wrap one leg around at a time. If you need to, you can kind of adjust the swing and get it into the sweet spot. There is a sweet spot. Typically, I'll take my ponytail out here so it doesn't get in the way. How's that feeling?
Lower it down a little
There
bit.
you go. Yeah. You can adjust it one leg at a time if you need to get it a little bit lower. It should be right across the top of the hips. Yeah. And so my upper body is on the ground. My feet are together. My knees are open wide. And I can just gently rock my hips from side to side. Now, I would only recommend doing the inversions if this is a normal part of your practice, right? So I like doing a little bit of a stretch here where I'm going to push into my upper thighs and lift and lower, undulating the spine, being serenaded by our local birds. Does that feel good? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's almost like I'm in a shoulder stand, right? And then from my shoulder stand, this is great for tractioning the lower back for sure. And then in my shoulder stand, I'm going to grab from my leg loops in my hands. We're going to come into what I call like a happy Buddha version. I'm going to get them on the elbow creases, which is going to help me lift up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to bring my hands to prayer at my heart. Okay? Yeah. So that gives me a little bit more elevation in the upper body, and then I can do the same thing. So my head's still touching down. There isn't much weight on it. I can lift my hips and drop my hips with my hands to prayer at the heart. How's that feeling?
Feels good.
Awesome. Yay. Then I can release those. I'm going to go ahead and do a half lotus position. So I'm going to release one leg out to the side. Other leg can extend or stay bent. Let's do the bent version first. So let's bring our left leg out to the side and then around. I'm still holding on if that feels good for support, or you can clasp your hands underneath you like you're coming into a bridge pose. So leg out. Does it feel good to bend? Bring the knee down. Yeah, this is called half lotus. And then if you want to do a more extended version, you can straighten the top leg up. Wrapping both legs around, bringing right leg out to the side, and then just bending the knee that comes down, half lotus. I did see some of the prenatal videos where they were showing how to do this in the swing, and I was like, okay, well, that was interesting. I was very surprised. And then for those that want to come into a bridge pose, then you can come into a low bridge, just holding them. It's not for everybody, but for those that want that as part of their practice, then you can just reach up. Grab for the swing. Yeah, come to sit, stretch the lower back. So what did you think?
Yeah, it felt, if you can't do the full bridge, to do one leg at a time, it feels nice.
Yes, yeah, exactly, and just to get that stretch. But the inversion, low on the ground, makes it extra super safe. it's not something that I would teach in a more beginner class. We were gonna save this for our day 2, but since we had our final sunset moments here, yeah, figured I would just show you how I like to come into that low flow. And this is the same thing that we were doing before, where we could add the low inversion from our floating Buddha position. So we'll just take a moment to review that as we close for today. And we'll keep facing the sunset and let the legs sway from side to side and just let that feel really good. Awesome. Very nice. Is there anything else you'd like to review? What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Oh, I love the Baddha Konasana. So I really appreciate all of the hip openers, the Baddha Konasana, the pigeon poses that we were able to do from here. You know, the low pigeon where we extend one leg at a time just feels so supportive and not so crazy for under the arms, since our bum can be on the ground and some of our weight can be supported not only by the swing but then by the earth. It's a little bit more spacious. Okay, let's come through our namaste. So this is how I'd get into my inversion from my half flow. And then once I reach up and grab for the swing, I let it come towards the hips, maybe even spread it out a little bit. You can have it over your bum too, which is kind of a nice variation. And so this might be as far as you go in an inversion. Yeah, exactly. Good. So not everybody has to go upside down to get the maximum benefit. We're just reversing gravity, right? And then if you want to reach around, grab for the back edge of the swing, pull it up towards your bum so it's kind of bunched. Then you can bring your legs wide and around, and it's a little bit more spread out. I like it when it's around my hips, so you can pull the part that's underneath your bum up, or you can leave it kind of straddling.
I feel like this.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and everybody has their own preference. Spreading it out a little feels better for some people. Other people like it bunched up. So yeah, so that's one more time how I would get into my inversion from my floating Buddha. I love this pose, so I'm like, we'll just end like this. Let's stay here for tonight. We'll be back Wednesday. So let's bring the legs wide and around, reach up and grab for the swing and come to sit when you're ready. And oh yeah, so if you wanted to come into a Shavasana from the ground, we can bend the knees and let the leg loop slide up like we're in Chilaxin pose. And then you can just release the swing all together and lower yourself down. That's right. I knew there was one more thing. This was like, what else are we doing? So this could be our Shavasana, right? At least for the first couple of trimesters, where we can let the knees be suspended and allow the hips a little bit of tractioning. And then the leg loops can go down to the ankles and assist pushing them down, and just have the legs elevated with your back on the ground. If coming into even the smaller inversion felt uncomfortable, this is just a nice way to drain the stagnation out of the legs. Really fun. Yeah, and to release those, I'm just gonna let them pop off. We can help them with our hands, and then slowly roll up to a seated position.
Or if you're pregnant.
I know, roll over.
Yeah,
I know. This is where my lack of baby changed my exit strategy. Yeah. No, thank you, Serena, for today. This has been so fun to share with you and play with you. So look for prenatal level 2. We'll do a little bit more this coming week to complete this future potential online course that we are creating together. And you can find out more about my online trainings at ayrx.online. That's ayrx.online. And aerialyogaplay.com will give you a list of all the events and trainings come up. Thank you so much. Namaste. Always end in cocoon, right? So go ahead and get into cocoon for final relaxation one more time at home. if you're coming to completion for the day.